see some of the reactions of phenols which we can use to test the acidity of phenol or to test that the functional group is phenol. So these tests can be performed by us in the lab. The first test, as I told you, is blue litmus test, which will be turning into red color. This test can be shown by all the acids. They can be your inorganic acids, mineral acids, or they can be organic acids like alcohols, carboxylic acids, or phenol. The second test which we are going to do in the exam is adding few drops of neutral ferric chloride to the phenolic solution, and the color of phenol will be changing to violet colored complex. So this test is very important for us to identify the presence of phenol in a given test tube. The reason for forming this violet color complex is quite simple. You can just imagine it in this manner, children. It's just very simple. Just look at this. Now if you take phenol and react it with ferric chloride, which is going to be brown colored solution, okay, phenol will be of different colors, like sometimes it can have a brown color. Now these two things, if you just mix them together, you will be getting the exchange of anions. The 3 chloride anions will be getting exchanged with 3 phenoxide anions, and you will get FeC6H5O minus 3 times ferric phenoxide. The color of ferric phenoxide is going to be violet colored, and also you will be getting hydrochloric acid coming out from here. Alright, the third test which we can use for phenol is adding bromine water in phenol. The moment bromine water is added, we will get instant reaction. So instant white precipitate is obtained, which indicates that phenol is present. The formation of white precipitate is due to the formation of a compound which is basically an electrophilic substitution reaction. Everyone knows, every child knows this fact. Bromine you're adding, so bromination will take place, and a very speedy bromination will take place because you are using a very polar solvent which will generate lots of electrophiles. Lots of electrophiles means polysubstitution will take place, and we will get 2,4,6 tribromophenol, which is the reason for white colored precipitate. Okay, so in board exam, definitely the questions are asked on what is the test for phenol. So we can give this test. Basically the second and the third test will be considered as the important tests, and the first test is not that important because it is going to give the positive test for all the acids irrespective of what are they. They are phenols or alcohols as carboxylic acids. Okay, so please remember, any of these 2 tests you can write in board exam. Now let us see the factors which affect the acidity of phenols. Now this is often asked in the exam, that what kind of groups will help in increasing the acidic strength of phenol and what kind of groups will decrease the acidic strength of phenol. So here we have 2 types of groups which can be attached to a phenolic compound. We can have electron withdrawing groups like any of these, or there can be others also. These are the most common ones which you will find: nitro, cyano, aldehydic group, halogen, or carboxylic acid. Now why are they electron withdrawing is simply because they have electron withdrawing capacity. They are positive or they are deficient in electrons, or some of them are highly electronegative because they have triple bonds here. The carbon has double bond here. Halogen has a high electronegativity here. Carboxylic acids, again the carbon is sp2 hybridized and highly electronegative. So please remember, the electron withdrawing groups will be those which have got high electronegativity, and they are going to withdraw the electrons from phenol, and as a result they will help in making the OH bond highly polar. So let me just show you one of the examples. I will write nitro group at ortho position over here, and if I just write the complete structure of nitro, it would look like this. And nitro, you can see, has a positive sign over here. Positive means electron deficiency is there, so it is going to pull the electrons of benzene towards itself. When it happens, of course, the oxygen's electrons will also be pulled towards the benzene's carbon, and hydrogen's electrons will also get pulled. So we are going to comment that electron withdrawing groups will help in making the OH bond highly polar, okay, by pulling the electrons, first point. And the second point is that once these protons are released out, once the proton is released out like this, you will get a phenoxide ion, isn't it? So the conjugate base which you are getting after the release of proton, is it going to be stable? If you see, is the negative charge getting removed or is it getting dispersed? So here, yes, it is getting dispersed. It is getting shared by an electron withdrawing group. So the electron withdrawing groups are also helping the conjugate base to stabilize themselves. So they are going to stabilize the conjugate base. So these are the two important points which must be there in your answer for a question, why is orthonitrophenol stronger acid than phenol? So in phenol we don't have any electron withdrawing group, but in orthonitrophenol an electron withdrawing group is present which pulls the electrons and makes the OH bond polar. Thus the hydrogen ions are released quickly, and secondly they also help in stabilizing the conjugate base by dispersal of negative charge by the phenomenon of sometimes minus R effect. For example, nitro is using minus R effect, as well as it is also exhibiting minus I effect. So these two important phenomena are there which will help in pulling the charge. Okay, so common sense that if I introduce such groups in more number, then it will make the acid more stronger. So more such groups, more stronger will be the acid, and hence we will say that if I have the groups nitro, for example, at 3 positions in benzene like this, that is 2,4,6 trinitrophenol, then that acid is an excellent acid. It will have a very high dissociation constant. You all know the meaning of dissociation constant. The strength of an acid is determined by its magnitude of dissociation constant. It's basically nothing but equilibrium constant of an acid, and higher the value of K, more is the reaction moving towards the right hand side and more is the acid dissociating. Okay. Similarly, we also have pKa, which is minus log of Ka. So pKa, just like pH is minus log of H plus, the same kind of format we have. So acidity, we can say, is directly proportional to Ka. Higher the Ka, more will be the stronger acid, and it's inversely proportional to pKa. Similarly, now on the other hand, if I attach electron donating groups like alkyl groups or hydroxyl group which has lone pairs on it, or amino group which has again lone pair on it, such groups are going to be very bad or detrimental for the strength of my acid, because they will oppose the both the phenomena. They are going to give the electrons actually to the oxygen atom and reduce the polarity of OH bond, and secondly they will destabilize the conjugate base. So you are just going to use two important words over here. The first is the polarity word should come in your answer. The second word, conjugate base stability, should come in your answer. So in case of groups like alkyl, let me give you one example. Like phenol is there, and if you are thinking of attaching methyl group, for example, then what is it going to do? It's going to give you so much of electrons to the benzene, and the benzene becomes so electron rich. It's not going to pull the electrons of oxygen now very strongly towards itself. So electron donating groups are going to increase the electron density on the phenolic compound and reduce the polarity of the OH bond, and also they destabilize the conjugate base. because once the conjugate base is formed like this, already it's negatively charged, and electron donating groups will further increase the negative charge on them. Okay, so increase in the negative charge will become so high that the compound formed is going to be extremely unstable. Why should it be formed then? If it is so unstable, why should it be formed then? And it doesn't get formed actually. So electron donating groups are going to be very negative kind of groups for us, and electron withdrawing groups are going to be very good for us in increasing the acidity. Now another important point which we all must remember is that where these groups should be attached if you want to increase the acidity. So these groups which I have written over here, we have to attach at certain specific positions only, which will participate in resonance. Okay, because it's phenol, so resonance will take place here. So they have to be attached at ortho and para positions only, because meta position will never participate in resonance. Alright, so these things should be clearly be understood by you, that what kind of groups we want, where do we want, how much do we want. I want electron withdrawing groups more and more, and at ortho and para positions only, because the meta position does not participate in resonance. So I have finished the first reaction of cleavage of OH bond, in which I talked about acidity. Now the second type of reactions we will study, in which the OH bond is going to break, and that reaction is called as acylation. Now let us see how does acylation take place and what is the meaning of acylation. We have already done this topic in alcohols topic, so it's almost the same. For acylation, we are going to choose the best acylating agent, that is acyl chloride, CH3COCl. Acylation is the process of replacement of hydrogen of alcohols or phenols by acyl group, or we can say it is a substitution of hydrogen of alcohols, ROH, of phenols, or even amines. Look at this. So what you are going to do, you are going to remove the hydrogen from here, and what are you going to substitute there is acyl group. So these reactions, three reactions, will be called as acylation reaction. Right now I am going to do the acylation of phenol. The lone pair is electron rich. It will attack the carbonyl carbon because it's positive. By now I think you must understand what is positive and negative here, because carbon is attached to electronegative atoms. Naturally it will be positive. Once the attack takes place, you must remember the hydrogen next to the oxygen has to go out in the next step. So you can just in your mind strike off this hydrogen atoms as H plus, and whoever is being attacked, the neighboring fellow has to go out as the best leaving group. So Cl minus will be going out here. So here we will be getting your answer as benzene ring, oxygen is attached, and we are going to connect it with COCH3. So this is a new type of compound which is an ester. So we get fruity smelling compound esters, and its name is going to be phenyl. You can see the name also, acetate we can write, CH3COO meaning is acetate. So phenyl ethanoate I can write it down, or acetate also, if some kids can write that also. We are also getting the byproduct HCl now, which may recombine with this ester and shift the reaction towards backward direction. To prevent this, we will add sodium hydroxide few drops in the test tube beforehand, so that it will neutralize the byproduct and shift the reaction equilibrium towards right hand side. So this was a very important reaction which we have seen. Now I am going to show you an industrially important reaction which is also important for your board exam. So the reaction is acylation of 2-hydroxybenzoic acid. So this compound which we have taken as a raw material is a phenolic compound, 2-hydroxybenzoic acid. It has a phenolic functional group, but the major functional group is acid, so its name is not phenol, it's acid. So this acid, which if you just forget this part, it looks like a phenol. So we are studying this reaction under the category of acylation only. So acylation will take place, and the reagent is now acetic anhydride. It is also one of the best acetylating agents, like acyl chloride we had used. So in industry we are going to use this acetic anhydride, and the catalyst chosen here is concentrated H2SO4. Whenever you write H plus, it should be understood as H2SO4. Now the same reaction which we discussed, the oxygen is going to attack the carbonyl carbon, for example this one. It can also attack this, both of them are same, so it's the same thing. The leaving group here is going to be CH3 C double bond O, O minus, which I will write it as CH3 C double bond O, O minus, and the H plus from here is going to come out, so you can write it as H plus and just write it as acid, that means. And the new compound which you get is going to be this compound, that is COOH is also attached over here, and at the second position this is O C double bond O CH3. So it is an ester, and it will be called as, at the second position we have got acetoxy group, 2-acetoxy, just write it capital in the first, 2-acetoxy benzoic acid is the compound which is obtained along with the byproduct coming out CH3COOH. This compound is extremely important for your board exam. It is commercially sold under the name aspirin. Aspirin is a medicine, it is a painkiller. So painkiller means it's called analgesic. What is the meaning of analgesic? It is painkiller for removing the pain from a body, muscular pain. Second is, it is also used as an antipyretic, that means for reducing the fever also. And third, it is the best use of it which is used is, it is anticoagulant. The meaning of anticoagulant is for preventing the blood clotting. So aspirin is used as anticoagulant especially by heart patients, because they have the problem of blood clottings. Okay, suppose this is the blood vessel, and the blood vessel might develop blood clots. If these blood clots are developing, the blood flow will stop and it might cause heart related problems, heart attack and so on. So intake of aspirin will prevent the formation of these blood clots, because aspirin will act as a blood thinner. It will not let the blood sediment or settle down, and intake of aspirin will lead to this figure. Now you can see what's happened. So aspirin has reduced the blood clotting tendency, and the blood can easily flow through. So intake of aspirin will make the case this way. Now excessive intake of aspirin also should be avoided by people who are on every now and then consuming it for removing the pain or reducing the fever. So aspirin is not recommended for under normal conditions, because excessive intake of it can cause bleeding of internal walls of stomach. Okay, it causes bleeding of internal walls of stomach and might lead to ulcers in the stomach also. So all of you must know that drugs or medicines should not be taken without the prescription of doctor, and only under certain special conditions are the patients recommended to take aspirin. So children, today we have finished a very important topic, the first topic of phenols, that is which bonds are going to break. We have seen the OH bond breaks, and we talked about two important reactions, the first talking about acidity and the second talking about acylation. So that's the end of this video now, and in the next video we are going to see the second type of reactions of phenol, where we will talk about the electrophilic substitution reactions of phenol. Alright, so I request every one of you to study hard and keep on revising the chapter, as you must have seen that we are following NCERT as it is, and of course if you go through these videos, the whole syllabus will be covered in a very nice way, and you may write down these, as I told you, the notes also simultaneously, and help yourselves. Thank you so much children, take care and bye bye.